9.6% increase for Social Security beneficiaries, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA benefits. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I want to share with you the latest economic numbers that were recently released and how this is going to translate into an increase to your monthly benefit. I can tell you this much, things have changed since last month, so I want to break it all down for you in this video and bring you up to speed as far as how much this could translate into as far as a raise to your monthly benefit. So let's get into it and talk about all the details. However, really quickly before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue doing all this research, watching everything closely, especially all these big announcements that continue to hit the wire each and every day, and any of these announcements out of the administration, the president, lawmakers, Congress, and anything that Congress is currently working on, including new bills, packages, proposals, amendments, and or reform to these very important programs, as well as anything else out there right now that we can possibly get our hands on, including money, checks, programs, or anything else like that. Of course, I want you to know about it right away. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day to help you out and, of course, to keep you updated with everything going on. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about what's going on and the latest economic data that was recently released and how this has changed in a pretty big way. So let's jump into it. All right, so now yesterday we got the latest inflation reading for the month of July. Now remember, these numbers are typically released about 2 or 3 weeks or so after the end of the last month. Now all this inflation data was actually for last month, okay? So that's generally when this information comes out. It usually comes out kind of in the middle of the month. So yesterday we got this inflation data. Well, it came out for the month of July with a headline number of 8.5%. Meanwhile, last month it was coming in at 9.1%, right? So technically, if you look at the headline number, it's down about 0.6%. However, this is the headline number, remember. But when it comes down to all these fixed income beneficiaries that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you know the whole list, right? Social Security, you know the whole list. Anyway, I won't go through it again for you. But here's the fact of the matter. When it comes down to your annual raise, as represented by the annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA raise, it actually has nothing to do with the headline number. What rather it has to do with the CPIW, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. So let me break that number down for you, because this number is actually very different than the 8.5% headline number. So let me tell you the details about this and how this all translates into the 9.6% that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. All right, so here's what it comes down to. In this same report, so the same report we got yesterday, the headline number came in 8.5%. However, the CPIW, the magical number, the key number, right, the gravy number, sometimes I like to call it, that is the one that we want to watch very closely. This one came in at 9.1%. So 0.6% higher than the 8.5% headline number. That's good when it comes down to your raise to monthly benefits, because this is the number that's going in the books. The number that's going in the books right now for this for the month of July. And remember, July, August, and September CPI numbers are very, very important. These are the 3 numbers that they watch in order to calculate how much your raise is going to be. So rather than the 8.5%, the actual 9.1% is going in the books. Nice. That's good. That's good. That's really good, okay? However, let me tell you this much. It actually went down 0.7% over the previous month. So remember, the only 3 months when it comes to inflation, the 3 most important months are July, August, and September. All the other months throughout the year, honestly, they don't really matter. It doesn't really matter when it comes to inflation, because these 3 months, July, August, and September, are the 3 that they use to look at the inflation compared to the inflation during the same period of time last year to determine how much that raise is going to be next year, right? So here's what we've got. Coming into the books for July CPI and inflation is 9.1%. However, the inflation from June CPIW was actually 9.8%. So we actually lost 0.7% when it comes month over month, right? So anyway, when it comes into the CPIW is what it really means. So either way, it's still a little bit lower, but at the end of the day, it's still 9.1%. This is the first reading that we have going into the books right now for when they're going to start calculating how much your raise is going to be for 2023. Good stuff. So That's actually pretty good. Now, let me talk about this 9.6% that I talked about at the beginning of the video. So now yesterday we got some new information right away out of the Senior Citizens League after that inflation number was released. Well, the Senior Citizens League is coming out, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with them, I talk about them here in the videos kind of a lot, not all the time, but, often enough we talk about the Senior Citizens League. It's a very big, powerful advocacy group, again, for Social Security beneficiaries. They also have ties directly to lawmakers. Does that give anybody any ideas? Gives me some ideas. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a separate video. The fact of the matter is, the Senior Citizens League was out, and they were talking about the latest inflation reading that was released yesterday and what their latest estimation and prediction is as far as how much the raise is going to be next year in 2023 for, again, about 70 plus million beneficiaries. They're projecting right now 9.6%. However, let me put it into perspective. Last month, when we got the last inflation reading out about a month ago in the middle of last month, their projections at that time came in at 10.5%. So they actually lowered their estimations by about 0.9%, from 10.5% now to 9.6%. So unfortunately, again, we won't know what the official number is going to be until mid-October when the Social Security Administration comes out and announces the number, and that'll be the one written in stone from the Social Security Administration. These are all just projections right now. This is all preliminary information. But the Senior Citizen League does actually have a pretty good track record, so that's why I like to look at them, because realistically, they're pretty good at projecting this kind of stuff, and I like to look at their estimations because I feel like they have a pretty good pulse on what is really going on. So their estimation is now coming in at 9.6%. It's down about, almost 1% over the previous projection from a month ago, but at the end of the day, 9.6%, I mean, let's be real with ourselves right now. 9.6% is still a very healthy raise, right? So I think we would all still be very, very happy. Even though a month ago when they were out with their projections, they were saying that a raise could be anywhere between 9.8% and 11.4%. Well, I was out shortly thereafter and saying, hey, 11.4% sounds really, really good, but honestly, I just don't see it. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not the Senior Citizens League. I'm not like, this huge Social Security expert. I mean, I know quite a bit about it, but at the same time, I'm not like in there, working for Social Security. But at the end of the day, I still looked at the 11.4% and I thought, I just don't see it. I do not see that at all unless we get some major surges in inflation going forward between July, August, and September. Even right now, if inflation goes significantly higher, which I'm going to be honest with you, I don't foresee that it's going to. I could see inflation kind of plateauing here, maybe going down a little bit more, maybe kind of bouncing around this, 8 to 9% range. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that happen. But even if that were to happen, we would not see 10%, we wouldn't see 11%, and realistically, we might not even see 9%. We would probably still see a pretty healthy 8%, 8% range, 8 to 9%. But even right now, sitting at, say, anywhere between 9.6% is still going to translate into a very, very substantial raise to your benefit. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand. We all need like 100%, right? How about that? Hey, Social Security, what do you think of that? How about you give everybody a 100% raise? What do you say, Social Security? They're probably going to laugh at me right now, seriously. But I think all of us could probably agree when it comes down to these benefits. I mean, realistically, so many people who are, below the federal poverty line, who are significantly below the averages, need like an 80% boost, 100% boost, 150% boost. Obviously, we'll never see that. I'm just simply saying that's what we really need right now. But the fact of the matter is, considering what we got this year, 5.9%, considering what we got last year, 1.3%, what a joke, by the way, 1.3%, are you kidding me? Seriously, 1.3%? That's like nothing, right? But anyway, even 5.9% this year was still pretty good. So even if we get a 9% raise or even an 8.5% raise for this year, going into next year, I mean, even at the same time, that's going to be the third largest raise in the history of this program, right? Social Security. So I don't think we can feel too bad about getting, the bronze, right? Olympic turns, I know, I'm not funny at all. But you know what I'm getting. We're going for the gold, but seriously, we're not going to get the gold. Realistically, we're not even going to get the silver, but we might get the bronze. We might get third place here, the third highest raise in history of Social Security. And honestly, that still might be pretty nice. We could still get anywhere between, 8, 9, low 9%, maybe even 9%, mid 9% range. So anyway, this is where we're currently sitting right now, but we got the first number in the books, and it's coming in. 9.1% is what's going into the books officially for Social Security and all the beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of the video when it comes down to calculating your annual raise as a result of the COLA, cost of living adjustment. Anyway, hope you're doing well, which, by the way, I happen to be fiddling around with my silver coins. So that's why I got the whole silver and gold analogy. So I was thinking, I thought, hey, we're not going for the gold, but I do have a little silver here, you know what I mean? So, by the way, if you didn't know, as I record these videos, I sit here and just play with the silver coin because I need to be playing with something. Otherwise, I just sit here and play around with my fingers the whole time. So I just sit here and twirl it in my hand. Anyway, with that being said, I hope this one gives you a better perspective on what's going on right now and kind of where we're currently sitting based on the latest inflation reading. Not exactly 2 months, but in about 2 months' time from right now, we will get the official announcement out of Social Security. That's going to be a big one. So we'll have to see what happens here. And, inflation, it's not a fun thing. But at the end of the day, if it comes down to it where we actually do get a pretty substantial raise, remember, that's going to be a permanent raise to your monthly benefit. So let's at least keep our fingers crossed that inflation stays kind of elevated for July, August, and September, at least the next, month and a half here, just honestly so we can lock in a big COLA, and then after that, hopefully it drops off a cliff, this inflation, right? But at least keep us somewhat elevated for at least through the end of September, just so we can lock in that big raise, and then once October hits, by all means, inflation could just go away at that point, right? So I think we'd all be very happy for inflation to just go away, lock in the big raise, and we all sail off into the sunset with our extra $62 every single month, or you know what I mean, whatever it happens to be. Obviously, it's going to be different for everybody, but I was just making an example right there. Anyway, hope this one helps you out. Again, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe down below in any way if you can. And again, please make sure to go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Also, share the videos with your friends, family, and social media. And one quick pro tip before I let you go back and check out some of the other videos right here on the channel. I can give you a little hint. If you fall on some of the latest videos here over the last, say, 3 days or so, there's some pretty cool videos out there. Leave some comments coming in on those videos. Make sure you're subscribed as well, and watch for those messages to come in from me as I'm giving away tons of stuff right now. I am on a mission to give away $10,000 this month. Make me pay, please. All right, anyway. With that being said, enjoy your day. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later on the next video. I'll see you for now. See you.